I'm Findlay Brown, and this is Beyond the Three Count.
In this documentary, I'm exploring the performative aspects of wrestling, whether it's inside or outside the ring. Firstly, I plan to gain a better understanding of the wrestling scene in Glasgow, so today, I've headed to the asylum to have a sit-down chat with Thomas Kearins and some of the ICW's current roster of wrestlers, to talk about their journey and their roles in the ICW. Glasgow Pro Wrestling Asylum, also known as the GPWA, has served as a central training location for ICW for over the last 10 years, creating new talent for the ICW and the wider wrestling scene. The facility is located in the heart of Glasgow and is considered to be the premier place for pro wrestling in Scotland, with active classes and student showcases. The Asylum is also responsible for helping create some of the biggest wrestlers in the world, including Drew McIntyre and Joe Hendry.
So my role in ICW, to the fans, is the referee. I've been a referee for ICW for the best part of the last 15 years, but behind the scenes I take to do with a lot of the day-to-day running of the social media, any sort of media inquiries, things like this. We have people visiting us in this fantastic facility we're in just now, the Asylum in Miller Street in Glasgow City Centre, which I also run Monday to Sunday as well. It's evolved in many ways. So when I started, I was 12 years old, it was 2007, and I didn't think there was an infrastructure in Glasgow, let alone Scotland, for professional wrestling and getting into it. So when I was 12 years old, my dad worked with a guy in Gurvan who ran a wrestling school in Linwood. So I went along one day, 12 years old, signed the back of a kebab leaflet from the place next door, which acted as a waiver. And then from the ages of 12 to 14, I was in there training with people double my size, height and weight. And then I eventually, like a lot of wrestlers, started to referee the training matches as a way of getting more experience. So generally you'll start to referee the training matches, hear what goes into a match, and then from there you will kind of transition into a wrestler eventually. So that's kind of the path that I took, and from 2007 to 2026 the evolution has been astronomical. We've seen wrestling go from scout halls in front of 60 people all the way up to over 6,000 at the Hydro. And I was fortunate enough to be part of both of those types of events, both from 2007 from the ground up, all the way through to the biggest selling wrestling event of the last 30 plus years, over 35 years now, when ICW ran Fear and Loathing at the Hydro in 2016.
When I first started in Scottish wrestling way back in 2008, it was kind of just seen as like a fun thing to do. Like there was really no scope at the time for it to be like a money-making venture or, God forbid, a career. So it's really evolved over the years, ups and downs and roundabouts, to the point where it is a viable business. You know, the live event side of things as well as the school side of things.
So I got really hyper fixated on wrestling again at the tail end of 2023. And when I get like hyper fixated, I just can't let something go and wanted to try it. So I literally Googled wrestling schools in Glasgow, found GPWA, then found out about ICW and started watching everything, and then here we are.
I am God, I'm its saviour, I'm a former two-time Zero-G champion, and it's not stopping there. So when I started, I was the guy who always just wanted to do moves. That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to wrestle, to try and make other wrestlers think I was good. But as I've grown, as I've evolved, as I've learned that wrestling isn't about impressing other wrestlers, it's about impressing the fans. And I'm much more now focused on telling stories as opposed to just doing moves for the sake of it.
Who's my favourite wrestler right now? I'll tell you who it's definitely not. It is most certainly not Jack Ripley.
Oh, well, I can tell you it's not. It's definitely not Jack Ripley. The man wears pink.
It's not Jack Ripley. He just went flying over the top rope at the square go because of the wrestling god. So nah, the wrestling god doesn't like losers.
My favourite professional wrestler is Jack Ripley.
Since I was 12, it's always been a dream of mine to become a pro wrestler, and today I am meeting up with one of ICW's hottest young talents, Jack Ripley, and to see if I have what it takes to become a pro wrestler. Jack has agreed to give me a one-to-one training session where he will run me through the basics.
Jack, nice to meet you. Take these sunglasses off. Come on.
Right, Jack, so it's great to finally meet you. Do you want to run through what we're going to be doing today?
Yeah, I'm going to run you through the basics, get you running about, get you sweaty, get you stretched.
Really?
Get you a little bit pained.
Jack began by teaching me the rope work. I fully underestimated how difficult and physically demanding this would be. Next up was grappling. Straight away, I realised there was much more to this than I expected. I was trying to lock up properly and stay balanced felt awkward at times. I soon got the hang of it. After an honorary drop to the chest, as it was my first time standing in the ring, it was time to return the favour. What makes Jack stand out as a wrestler is his acrobatic abilities. He taught me one of his signature moves, the frog splash, which was in fact quite the humbling experience.
So Jack, after everything you've run through, what's next?
Well, you've learnt quite a lot.
Yeah.
See what you can do.
Yeah? So
Put that all together.
Yeah?
Yeah, come on then.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Come here.
Yeah, hey!
Jack, thank you very much for that. You know, you've given me quite an insight to what life is inside the ring, but
It's not easy, is it?
can we please move on to what your life is outside the ring now? Hopefully it's not as chaotic, hopefully it's not going to hurt, but I'm looking forward to it.
I know somewhere nice.
Yeah?
Come on,
Okay.
come on, go. Hi, my name's Jack McGurn, 23 years old, and I'm a professional wrestler.
Okay, Jack, well, it's nice to finally meet you and it's great to have you here.
My full-time job, I work as a cafe supervisor. It's very lovely, it's nice and relaxing. But my nighttime job is that I'm a professional wrestler, which is a little bit less relaxing. Still lovely though. So I started wrestling when I was 15 years old. I was a lazy wee guy. I used to do sports all the time. I'd done football, I'd done taekwondo, I'd done all this other stuff. And I was like, I'm pure lazy. I need to go and do something. And I loved wrestling. I've always loved wrestling. So I just thought, I'm going to find a school and I'm going to go to it. So I managed to find Source Wrestling in Pollock Shaws, and they welcomed me in, trained up, and yeah, just went from there. Training sessions are pretty tough sometimes. A lot of conditioning, a lot of cardio, a lot of bumping. So that's when you're chucking yourself in the ground and falling. It takes its toll on your body. I'm sore constantly. My neck, my back, my legs, my arms, everything just always hurts. But it's great. Training is one of the best parts about wrestling. My biggest supporters are easily my mum and dad. They've done everything for me to make sure I can do this and make something of it.
Chuffed. Proud. Honestly, I felt proud. Because I said to him, right, you're into this. See, before his first match, he'd been there twice a week, sometimes, and he upped it a couple of times to 3 times a week. I knew he's what he wants to do.
They take me to training, they take me to shows, they make sure I'm prepared for all the matches, buy me food, buy me fake tan, you know, They're just my biggest supporters. I couldn't ask for better parents. So there's a long story about how I got my name. Jack Ripley comes from the second match I ever had. I started my first match as Jack McGurn. I didn't have a name, I was just me. But my coach at the time was like, right, you need a stage name. And I was bald. So he was just calling me all these sorts of characters that were bald. And one of them that stuck was Ripley, as in Ripley from Aliens, because she was bald. So he was like, right, be placeholder name, Jack Ripley. And that was about 6 years ago. So it's kind of stuck.
Right, well, we've spoken so much about Jack Ripley. I'd love to meet the guy for real. Do you think we can make that happen?
I could show you what he's like. Let's go, Neil.
After my sit down with Jack, I am heading down to the garage on Sucky Hall Street, where the ICW is holding one of its popular events called Smell Your Maw. Unfortunately, Jack is not scheduled to wrestle at this event, but I'm still looking forward to the experience. Before the event began, I was given the opportunity to go backstage and talk to Jack's good friend and wrestling partner, Natasha Swann. And this is what she had to say.
Okay, for the fans at home, can you tell us a bit more about the dynamic between you and Jack?
Do you know, the dynamic between me and Jack, it's very inexplainable and mysterious and truly cosmic, and it can't be explained in human words.
Okay, great. So, for someone who's coming to the show tonight, what can they expect?
Just a lot of shenanigans.
And just when I thought it couldn't get any better, Jack Ripley. Despite not winning the match, what stood out the most was the performance. Jack had the audience in the palm of his hand. This experience has shown me that in wrestling, it's not about winning or looking the coolest, it's about telling a story. Wrestling is as much about artistry as it is athleticism. I'm Findlay Brown, and this has been Beyond the 3 Count.